Welcome to the Real Academy, brought to you each Saturday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time by
the Resilience DoctHers,
Dr. Sheikah Houston and Dr. Tammy Taylor, best-selling authors, consultants, and speakers of Create and Educate LLC. Create and Educate LLC is an educational consultant and literary firm that provides professional development to schools and community. Their goal is to transform organizations with the REALL Resilient Framework used to increase their school report card grades 2 and 3 grade levels in 1 year. REALL stands for Respect, Excellence, Accountability, Literacy, and Leadership. This framework is used to coach leaders and teachers and build student efficacy while putting systems in place that aligns the work of the school improvement, making the process manageable. When the work is manageable, teachers and leaders don't stress out or burn out.
The Resilience DoctHers.
Alignment systems are designed to help schools evolve and grow, all while instituting protocols and processes designed to promote collaboration and collegiality. The implementation of the alignment framework prevents some of the most common problems in education, where leaders sometimes aren't sure where to start, or in our new age of educating, leaders need a trusted sounding board that allows them to be vulnerable and transparent, preventing loneliness at the top. The framework doesn't just help leaders, but also prevents teachers from burning out from too many initiatives and embracing teachers as they are the experts. Finally, the framework extends to the children, helping them get engaged in school and solving a nationwide problem. Alignment systems are frequently referred to as a key element of success in the improvement process. In the sport of rowing, all rowers must put their oars in the water, succinctly creating a system for their boat to reach maximum speed. So schools that want to improve are bringing in
the Resilience DoctHers
to teach them all about the alignment systems that must be in place for school improvement to be accomplished at high levels. The dynamic duo provides insights into educational topics through their international platform, which includes educators, parents, and community members as a way to support important entities that make communities thrive. This is their way to pay it forward and provide the support they needed through their platform. Take a look. People who work with
the Resilience
describe them as an
DoctHers.
excellent and inspiring group of leaders. They get into the weeds of work with leaders through their TrustMate Institute that you should contact them about today by filling out the contact form on their website.
It's Super Saturday, everyone. Welcome to episode 250 of the Real Academy, brought to you by Create and Educate with your very own Resilience DoctHers. I'm Dr. Sheikah Houston.
Good morning, everybody, and I'm Dr. Tammy Taylor. Welcome to episode 250. We are so grateful that you continue to join us each week as we help students, leaders, teachers, and communities build resilience through systems that work.
Absolutely. And as we ask you each week, let us know in the comments what kept you resilient in the work this week. Some of you, it may have been the countdown to the end of school, but let us know what kept you resilient in the work this week. And if this is your first time tuning in and you're wondering, well, who are the Resilience DoctHers?
We are very glad that you asked. We are best-selling authors, children's book authors, award-winning educators, speakers, and school improvement practitioners who transformed our schools by improving our report card ratings 2 and 3 levels in just a single year.
Absolutely. And we had some phenomenal staff members that worked along with us to do that. And after we raised our report cards 2 and 3 levels in 1 year, people started to ask, well, what did you do differently? And that led to the development of our real framework that you see at the top of the pane and over our shoulders. That real acronym with 2 L's stands for respect, excellence, accountability, literacy, and leadership. And as senior staff developers for Create and Educate, we help schools improve their culture, their instruction, behavior, leadership, literacy, and their organizational effectiveness. But over the years, we also discovered something very important, that many schools don't struggle because they lack programs. They struggle because people struggle to work together. So that led to the development of our unique approach to school improvement, and that is through our Synergy Lab. So this provides you with self and team awareness. In the Synergy Lab, we help schools to understand how people show up, how teams work together, how generational differences impact communication, how emotional triggers influence conflict, and how to build stronger collaboration, because schools are filled with people. And when people understand themselves and understand one another, everything changes.
It absolutely does. And if you aren't able to bring us in to do the work, keep tuning in right here with us in the Real Academy, where we've impacted over 300,000 educators and about 7 million students through free Fantastic Four professional development. We start off on Saturday mornings, which has been deemed as Super Saturday by Principal Kafele, and we begin at 10 a.m. with Principal Sean Hurt, our brother in the work, who does an outstanding job every week bringing fire. We follow him in the Real Academy, where you're tuned in right now with Shika and I at 10:30. And then at 11 o'clock, the Leaders Mentor and the Go All Things Education in the AP and New Principals Academy, we have Principal Kafele. And then on Sunday evenings, this is rounded out with the PGP podcast with Dr. Marty Moreno and Principal Josh Tovar. So please keep tuning in to us for the Fantastic Four PD that we offer to pay forward what we believe is impacting the lives of students and teachers and leaders across the country.
Absolutely. So please like, share, subscribe, send the stars, make the comments, do all of the things that all of the platforms do. And we say please and thank you. That helps us to build these algorithms. So I wanted to give a shout out to both of my daughters. This week, my oldest daughter was promoted. We attended her promotion ceremony, so she's promoted to ninth grade. So I have a freshman. She was inducted into the Band Hall of Fame, where she's a trumpet player, and she's won several awards for her solo ensemble performances. She's been straight A student the entire for the entirety of her middle school years. So we're just super proud of her. And my youngest daughter, we had her sixth grade awards program, and she was the highest achiever in all four subject matters. She also won a highest achiever award for one class, where the teacher even read a whole synopsis about why she received the award. And one of the things I remember her saying at the and in her soul as a person, that she is an amazing person. So I'm just super proud of both of them, and just want to keep them encouraged. And also, congratulations to all of the graduates. And I know, Tammy, you're going to shout out Abby.
Of course. And Dorian was actually promoted this week as well. Trent, I think, was promoted, and I got a bunch of them that came through. Rylan, I think, was promoted. So we have a lot of kids that are transitioning, and I just want to say that I'm so super proud of those girls, and it is just so hard to believe that Lizzie's going to be in the ninth
Ninth grade.
grade. That is
Mhm.
insanity. I remember the day this girl was coming, like, oh my gosh, this is something to think about. But I'm very proud of all the kids. And yes, Abby went to school today in a ball gown because they were celebrating her for her birthday. Because that's what Abby does. But
Oh my goodness.
just so glad that we are, as she could say, closing out another school year. And I want to shout out Principal Dr. Pedrick Hampton and his team, Miss Williams, Miss Schuler, and I'm not sure. I know Miss McConnell, but I was honored this week to be able to present the first Principal Dr. Tammy Taylor Outstanding Student Award, which was really a blessing. It was very humbling to know how they feel like I have left such a legacy at that school that they want to continue to honor that with a special student every year. So that was just a very, very humbling experience, but also one that I am eternally grateful for. So I just wanted to say to them very publicly, thank you very much. And to all the kids that have been promoted and moving on and whatever all you call that, we are very excited for you. And teachers, we want you to know that we celebrate you too, because you made a whole nother year, and that's not to be taken lightly. So we hope you all have a wonderful summer, whatever it is you decide to do, even if that's summer school. Because I had a teacher today say, yep, I'll be right back in here next week. And I said, well, that's good, because that's one of the things. We need people who can do that too. So we're very, very grateful for all of the leaders across, not just in our district, but across the country, for the work that you've put in this year. And for those of you who are finishing up in weeks to come, same thing. We say kudos to you for another year under your belt.
Absolutely. And congratulations. That is a great honor for them
It was
to
a blessing.
continue that in your name, to leave your legacy. That's awesome.
Yeah. But what we're going to be talking about today, and this is one of the things that I think is a make or break for a school. And Sheik and I talk about this all the time, because not that we were by any stretch of the imagination perfect administrators, but there are areas where you can count on people with their strengths to do what has to be done to make sure that the school is able to be successful. And for us, both of us, honestly, I think communication was a strength. And because of that, you didn't have some of the things that you see sometimes in other places. But we want to talk about that, because this topic is one that is one of the biggest hidden reasons that schools struggle. And we want to emphasize that, because it's not a lack of effort on the part of the staff or the students. Sometimes it's not a lack of intelligence on the part of the students or the staff, but it's communication.
Absolutely, Tammy. And more specifically, the communication style that creates the conflict. And, and many conflicts aren't about what was said. Really, it's about how it was heard. And what some people forget, that communication is a two-way street.
Yes.
You say one thing, but you do have to understand what a person has heard, because they're hearing through their experiences, like we talked about last week, through their own trauma. And you have no idea, if you don't know them, what some of their triggers may be. So, one of the biggest mistakes we can make as leaders is to assume that everyone communicates the same way that we do, because we know that is not the truth. They don't. And some people are very direct. I'm a very direct person. Some people are relational. And it's not hard for me to relate to people, but I will say that that was something that I had to work on. Um, and then some people need details. I am a detail person. I like to see I really like to draw the big picture for everybody, because I feel like if you draw the big picture, everybody knows the why. And if you can connect to the why, then we can kind of get somewhere. And then some people want to process before they respond, which, Tammy, you are a processor. And I'm a processor as well, but I'm a very quick processor, and I'm a connector too. I can connect something to from 3 years ago that I heard to something that I didn't heard today. And so everybody just, they have different ways of hearing and understanding. And some people respond immediately. So
Right.
lots of differences.
And I think that in line with what you're saying, because you are absolutely correct. Everybody processes very differently, and our communication style is directly a reflection of what that means for each individual. Because I too am a very direct person, but I deliver softer than you, and
Mhm.
that may be because I am probably no more relatable. However, I am while I'm processing not just what I'm thinking, but how you might receive what it is I'm going to say. So I soften, I think a little differently than you do. Now, I do think that you're right. Like, I'm a quiet processor. You process out loud sometimes, and so as you're working through what you're doing, you already are planning, and so that um, makes people who don't process that way, sometimes it kind of is intimidating to some folks, and that can be something that could create a barrier for people to actually understand. Whereas it's different when you are the kind of processor that I am too, because I'm processing, and I got you, and I'm almost ahead of you most of the time, but I am also, while I'm doing that, reflecting. So that makes people uncomfortable because they're like, are you hear what I'm saying? Like, what? Come on. That was how my mom was with me. Like, okay, Tammy, come on
Mhm.
with it. But I am very reflective in what I'm doing. So I think that you're right. And we have to really pay very careful attention to what it is that we're delivering and how that delivery comes across, with respect to everybody who's in the room, because everybody hears differently, as you said. And I think when we don't recognize that the differences are there, we begin to assign negative intentions that sometimes are not negative, but we'll say things like, he doesn't care, she's just being really difficult, because some people are questioners. You ask a lot of questions. I'm a very detailed person, so I probably over communicate, because I tell you everything I would want to know. My husband doesn't want to hear that. Not like, oh my God, Tammy, you're gonna explode my mind. I don't want to hear any more about it. And that's again, that's something that I have to work on. But it isn't that people are being difficult or they're resistant sometimes, when the reality of that is we're communicating differently, all of us. Now, I'm going to be honest though, most workplace conflict really starts with the interpretation, not the facts, but
Mhm.
interpretation. Someone sends a short email that's very direct, and has a tone to it that has been interpreted as a tone. Now people think that person's angry, someone doesn't respond quickly enough, people think that they're being ignored, or if you respond too quickly, they think you're being confrontational. You have to be very careful in um, the way you perceive things too, because interpretation causes you to perceive a thing a certain way. And unfortunately, it's just a reality in life that perception becomes folks' reality. And now you got a problem.
Absolutely. And this is where AI can come in handy because some things before I send it, I tell chat, hey, soften this up because I know this rough right here. This real rough. Soften this up.
I've got to learn to do that with chat. I gotta figure chat out.
So communication gaps become culture gaps, and then culture gaps become trust gaps. So the conflict isn't always the problem, but the misunderstanding is. So just like you talked about earlier, Tammy, when you say one thing but something different is heard, this is where we have the gap
Mhm.
because a person is now offended and the person who is supposed to be the offender don't even know how they became offended
Or
because
why? Like,
yeah,
what in the
what
world?
did I even say? And so, now you have that big misunderstanding. So one of the things you've heard us talk about the synergy lab, and one of the things that we do is to help teams understand how they communicate, because if you've not taken time to do that and you have a building full of people, sometimes this can really create chaos for you. And understanding how people receive communication, we put people on these teams to work together, and then have we even thought about their communication styles? How is this going to fit together? How is this going to work out well for the children? Because if you didn't put all of the people on the one team who, instead of saying good morning, when you say good morning, they moaning, and they ain't really morning people, and you done gave the children 4 people like this in the morning and they all miserable. So we really have to think about those things in everything that we're doing as leaders. How do people receive information? How do they respond to stress? You don't want to put all the worry warts on the same team together, and think that's going to be good for children. How do they respond to change? So you have to keep all of this in mind as you are creating teams that you want to work with your children.
Absolutely. And what you have to do also for your own peace of mind is think about what kind of teams you're creating. Because if you put all the warriors on one team, guess who's gonna get worried?
You.
You. Because everything that happens, they're gonna be worried about it. Is nobody there to say, y'all, okay, let's press pause. This is what she meant. I got it. We're okay. If everybody's worried about it, guess where everybody's going to be all the time? In
Mhm.
your office. You have to think about the dynamics. And as Sheikah said, what kind of synergy are you creating with these teams? And the bottom line is always going to go back to the children, because I think about, um, and I know it is what it is. You have to be who you are, and I understand that. But I encourage my folks, and I know that not everybody's a morning person. I offer to buy them a cup of coffee. I'll have some juice, what you need that wake you up to get you ready to greet the children when they come in. Because who wants to start the day with somebody when you say good morning, they grunt at you? Mm.
And that was something I used to go over on my town hall meeting, honey, when somebody, when I was raised, when you walk in the room and you ain't slept with these people and they wasn't at your house, good morning. You speak to people. And I told the teachers, if this is what I'm telling the children, This is the same thing that goes for everybody in the building.
Absolutely. And you definitely want to instill that as a part of your culture, because that does help everybody to function in a way that, no, I'm not the most morning person, but I do know that the expectation here is that I greet kids in the morning. Now, that might be a quiet greeting and I have some music playing softly in the background, because all us need to be quiet for about 15 minutes. Just let me get myself together. I'm okay with that. But when those kids get there, I want them to feel like you want them there. And I want them to know that we are glad that they're at school. And that's something, again, that I think is a part of building a strong communication big system in your school, because self-awareness actually can change conversations. When I know how I show up and I know how you show up, I don't have to assume anything. This provides me with a base for my understanding. I know Dr. Taylor is a very direct person, and if you ask her, and this is what they started telling each other: if you don't want the truth, don't ask her. She is going to tell you the truth. And that, again, is just something that was an understanding about how I operate. And so that's something that I think is a part of being self-aware and aware of who you're working with.
Absolutely. And as we do each week, we're going to align communication to the real framework. So when we start off with respect, what that looks like is listening to understand, not just to respond. That excellence piece is communicating clearly and professionally. So, with us, if you don't have a communication plan, you really probably are not effectively communicating. And one of the biggest gaps that we've seen in organizations is that a lot of people have communication plans for the outside community, but if you don't have a communication plan internally for things that are happening within your organization, you'd have made a post on Facebook, but you ain't told nobody within the organization what's happening. You have a problem. You have not thought this through. You don't have a plan. You have a part of a plan. You don't have a
Right.
full plan.
Exactly.
And when you get to accountability, you have to have that follow through on your commitments. So you can't be running around saying things and not following through, because everyone picks up on that, even the children. And your literacy is ensuring that there's understanding and not just information being delivered. So always ask people what they heard. This is how you learn how people are hearing you and how they're processing what you're saying. And then
Definitely.
that leadership is creating those environments where communication is safe and productive, and you're not always offended when somebody's coming back to tell you that, oh, well, that didn't go over so well, and you standing there talking about, what do you mean it didn't go over well? You have to listen and be able to receive things as well from people.
Right. And you can't be on the defense with, well, I told them. You said it, but what did they hear? That's why it's important to have that speak back. What did you hear? Because we want to leave here all on the same page. Just remember, y'all, that healthy communication creates healthy systems. Broken communication creates broken system. So before assuming that someone is being difficult, ask, how did they process this information? How do they prefer communication? What pressures might they be experiencing right now? Because it could be a lot of different factors in play. And then you got to look into yourself. Take Principal Kafele's mirror and do some reflecting and ask yourself, what am I assuming? What kind of assumptions am I making?
Absolutely. And sometimes as leaders, we try to solve conflict before understanding communication, but understanding comes first, solutions come second.
Definitely.
So here are your reflection questions. What communication habit of yours strengthens relationships? And what communication habit may unintentionally create conflict?
Remember, y'all, awareness is the first step towards making an improvement.
Absolutely. So, thank you all for joining us for episode 250 of the Real Academy.
And as we continue our Synergy Lab series, we're going to keep exploring how self awareness, team awareness, generational awareness, and emotional trigger awareness helps schools work smarter, lead stronger, and thrive together.
Absolutely. And we are very excited to be taking the Synergy Lab on the road. We will be in Baltimore, Maryland. We'll be back in Canada this year. And there's some other places that have reached out that are getting back to us. But if your school or district or organization, community group or church is looking to improve communication, reduce conflict, and strengthen collaboration, reach out to us at createandeducate.solutions. Fill out the contact form and type Synergy Lab.
Yes, because we are your resilience doctors helping you create and educate so that you can thrive.
Absolutely. We hope that you all have a real amazing Super Saturday. Please tune in to Principal Kafele next and Dr. Marty Moreno and Josh on Sunday. And then right back here on Super Saturday, starting off with Principal Sean Hurd at 10 a.m. Yours truly, Create and Educate at 10:30. And the Leaders Mentor and the Go, Principal Kafele in the AP and New Principals Academy at 11. Thank you all so much.
Yes, thank you. Happy weekend, y'all.